Testing. I'm so testing. I have no testing here on my test. What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and today I'm going to discuss all my ideas for preventing grenade spam and generally balancing the resupply system. I'm going to outline everything in sort of sexy bullet points on screen, as usual, so you can follow it easily. Now, there will be one or two ideas that you will not agree with, but I ask that you stick around till the end before you judge. I've set out all the bullet points sort of progressively, so where you might see a flaw with the point that I'm currently talking about, I then will fix it with the next bullet point, if you see what I mean. What I'm saying is, hear me out before you judge. I really do believe my system will completely fix every single grenade problem. It's a fantastic system, if I say so myself. First of all, I'll quickly outline the very main points, and then I will go into specific mechanics and details. So right off the bat, it's worth saying that my system, my grenade resupply system, is a logic-based system. If you know me, you know I love logic and reason and realism. So let's see how we can change the grenade resupply system without ruining balance and making things unfair. Quite the contrary, I plan to make things fairer than they are now. Now, the first most important thing with my system is that grenades no longer resupply automatically on a timer. That recent addition, it was only introduced, what, a month ago? Something like that. But that addition to the game completely ballsed everything up. And it is literally just weird and unrealistic and illogical. They introduced that sort of automatic grenade resupply on a timer system to counter grenade spam, but if anything, it's made grenade spam worse. However, before I shit on the developers' changes too much, there is one change they made that I actually like. And that one thing I like about the changes, I will keep for my system. Grenades can only be resupplied by the ammo crate. The ammo pouches have no effect whatsoever on grenade resupply. But wait, before you get all angry, hear me out until the end, because all the changes I'm about to detail and outline are really fucking good. So hear me out first. Okay, so that's it for the main stuff. Now let's go into detail with the mechanics of the ammo crate. And there are a lot of proposed mechanics. My system is very detailed. First of all, each crate set on the ground has a set number of grenades available for resupply. For example, 12 is the sort of sweet spot number that I've come to in my head. So that's 12 total for everybody to pick from. Once that 12 is up, there's no more left in that crate. And the next mechanic, and this is a game changer on its own. The cooldown on placing a new crate down is greatly increased from what it is now to 1 minute. I've come to 1 minute in my head as being a decent amount of time, because I don't know if you're a support, you put an ammo crate down at the moment, you can put another one down in seconds, and that just seems stupid and illogical to me. I'm all about that logic, man. So there's a 1 minute recharge timer for putting a new crate down. Now, the next couple of changes is where I'm going to lose a lot of you, because a lot of you are not going to like the serious change that I'm about to mention. But I'll just get straight into it. Just hear me out until the end, for the love of God. Right, okay, proximity resupply, i.e. being resupplied when you're near an ammo crate, isn't automatic or instant with my system. So when you're near a crate, you don't just automatically get a grenade in your pocket. As I said, I love logic, but I'll discuss logic more towards the end of the video. My system is that you actually have to click and hold, and a lot of people will hate the hold part, but my system, you have to click and hold on the crate to resupply your grenade. The same mechanic as setting up a bomb, with a 2-second timer. I did toy with the idea of giving different grenade types different timers, all very short timers, but different nonetheless. Like I thought I'd give frag like 4 seconds, and smoke 2 seconds, etc. But then I decided that was just overly complicated and unnecessary. So it's a flat timer for all grenade types, 2 seconds, which isn't long at all, but it's far more realistic for, think about it, bending over, picking up a grenade out of a crate. 2 seconds is very realistic. If I had my way, I would have them implement an animation, so you actually go, as you click on the crate, you would bend over and pick up a grenade, but that's expecting too much of the developers, so simply a 2-second timer is the same thing, really. But hey, wait, now you're thinking, if all you have to do is click and hold for 2 seconds to get another grenade out of a crate, grenade spam will be like 1,000 times worse, because the support class can just put a crate down and just keep clicking for grenades. Wrong! Wrong because of my next proposed mechanic. Each individual player can only resupply once per crate. So while I said that there are, for example, 12 total grenades in a crate, each player can only pick up one of those 12. This does seem logical to me. At first it didn't. I will admit, at first I designed this mechanic purely out of balance to prevent grenade spam. But thinking about it, in battle, in reality, I've never been in a battle, I've never been a soldier or anything, but in a battle, one person isn't just going to use up all the grenades in a single crate. Surely, well, unless maybe it's maybe a grenadier sort of person, but generally I think many soldiers would share one crate. So far, now you can see it's greatly limiting the amount of grenades one person can have. Now, you may be thinking, only one grenade per person per crate. But keep in mind that there's always multiple support classes, so more often than not that there will be more than one crate down, and you can get a new grenade from each crate. Do you see now how this is fair and balanced, much more than it is now? It's fucking genius. I'm sorry, but it is. It sounds very limiting at first, one grenade per crate and that's it, but in actuality it isn't, because there's multiple crates and people are always throwing down new crates. So you're never going to run out of grenades, but it seriously limits the amount of grenades you have at any one time. Do you see what I mean? The more supports and crates, the more grenades you're going to have. And because of the manual nature of having to click on the crate rather than just randomly getting one automatically, half of all players will just forget to pick up a grenade. So that will seriously help alleviate some of the grenade spam. Now, another mechanic. After I explained all of that, you may be thinking now, well, in the craziest of fights, in those heated battles on the front lines, everyone will just put crates down and everyone will keep constantly picking up new grenades. And spam will be just as bad as it already is, if not worse. Wrong! Wrong because of the next stipulation. And this is purely for balance, I'm afraid, because logic only goes so far. In reality, grenade spam is actually logical in certain circumstances. But purely for balance, picking up a new grenade triggers a 12-second resupply delay timer. So once you pick up a grenade from a crate, you can't pick up another grenade from any crate for 12 seconds. As I said, not logical this one, but it's absolutely necessary for Battlefield 1 to prevent grenade spam. You know what? I've just had a thought, actually. I write all these bullet points before I start recording, so I know what I'm reading. But I've just had a thought about that last point I just made, about the 12-second resupply delay after picking up a new grenade. Thinking about it, that would mean there is no delay after using your original grenade and picking up a new one. You could pick up a new grenade immediately because there's no delay timer. And that's a flaw in my system. So you know what? I'm actually rewriting that now to... There's a 12-second resupply delay after throwing a grenade. That way, the delay is there after using your original grenade. That fixes that problem. So there's always a resupply delay after using a grenade. So that's a fantastic idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. So change that on the screen. So it's no longer picking up a new grenade triggers a 12-second delay. It's now throwing a grenade triggers a 12-second delay. That's much better for balance. Now the next change is a visual one, and this might actually be impossible to implement depending on the game engine. I don't know the mechanics of how the game works, but ammo crates now visually change to reflect the grenade capacity. I mean, if you actually look at the crate currently, there's ammo and a couple of grenades sticking out the top of it. Under my system, once you pick up a new grenade from a crate, the grenades disappear from the crate, so you have a visual way of knowing if you can or cannot pick up a new grenade before you actually try. This will help you from wasting time trying to click on a crate that you can't click on because you've already picked up a grenade from that crate. But anyway, that's enough of visuals. I mean, it would be a nice touch to the game, nice touch of realism, but it's not necessary for obviously for grenade resupply balancing, etc. It would just be nice. Now the next mechanic that I'm about to state is important and vital. The resupply points and XP you get as a support class is increased accordingly. The much longer crate recharge time and the fact that picking up grenades is now manual, this would seriously lessen the XP you get. So the increased points would balance it out to hopefully give you roughly the same XP as you get at the moment. That being said, I actually propose an extra source of points. Though again, this may actually be impossible to implement depending on how the game works. This extra source of points is, as a support, when people get a kill using a grenade resupplied by your crate, you get 20% XP returns for that kill. Either 20% returns for the kill only, or perhaps 20% return for all damage done by that grenade. Obviously, the 20% XP return is on top of the points you already get for the standard resupply. And this little bundle of XP, on screen, you know the way it says like kill assist and all of that, spot assist, etc. On screen it would be labelled as grenade resupply kill assist. Nice and simple. Anyway, that's it for my system. Those are all the mechanics for the ammo crate, and in general, that covers everything. So that's my system. Now I'm going to try and explain a little bit about why I've decided to do this, why I've even decided to make this video. I know that most people would be okay with my system, my proposed changes. I think a lot of people would actually like it, but I know that the main grievance with my system that people have would be the click and hold requirement for picking up a new grenade, rather than just waiting near a crate. It was actually a hard decision for me when I was writing up this system, between automatic waiting nearby and manually clicking on the crate, but in the end, honestly, my love for logic won out. I've always found it odd. I've always found it odd that you just automatically get ammo and a grenade when you're stood a few meters away from the crate. It makes no sense to me. But that realism argument, I admit, is a huge sort of rabbit hole with no end. But I do want a bit of realism. I mean, try to get your mind where my mind is. Think about this for a second. The click and hold mechanic means you have to go out of your way to resupply your grenade, which is realistic. But more importantly, you have to mean to resupply your grenade. Currently, people just throw a crate down on the front lines where there are loads of people fighting, and these people get the grenades back without even knowing it or realizing it. It's just fully automatic. They are on the front lines, shooting away, and whoops! Oh, grenade in my pocket. That is totally silly when you think about it. It doesn't make any sense. And it only happens because the support classes are trying to get as much points as possible. I mean, that's what you do when you're a support class. You put your crate down where there are loads of people just so you get the points flowing in nice and fast. This is one of the biggest fundamental issues with grenade resupplying. In my opinion, that's the root of all the issues to do with grenades and resupplying in general. For me, it comes down to, honestly, it comes down to one idea. If you want to resupply your grenade, you have to handle it yourself and go out of your way to get a new grenade. That's the genius of the click and hold system. Hell, you could even do away, actually. You could even do away with the 2-second timer I suggested. As long as you have to manually click on the crate, I'm happy. I truly believe that my system would completely, first of all, it would completely and utterly fix the issue of grenade spam. Support classes, with all the proper balancing and the raising of the XP like I suggested, would get just as much XP as you get currently, so there would be no change in XP. My system is more logical and realistic than it is currently. It's not completely logical, because there are a couple of mechanics that I've suggested purely out of balance. They're not logical. But my system is still more logical than it is currently, and therefore, in my opinion, that makes a game much more immersive when it's more realistic. And the next point I'll make is, because of the manual nature of my resupply system, people who are more sort of perceptive and skilled, people who pay the most attention, will generally be rewarded because their own quick thinking will get them more grenades, whereas people that are a bit slower and not really paying attention, they won't remember or bother to resupply the grenades. Do you see what I mean? Honestly, it comes down to one big issue, and it's not even to do with Battlefield 1, it's all games. Over the past, 5 years, games have been dumbing down more and more and more, to the point where, these days, everything is automated. Everyone is equal, and you have to honestly have exceptional skill to stand out and get ahead of the curve. I preferred the good old days where sort of high skill, smooth logic, a decent sort of perception, and generally sort of clever and smart players were rewarded and had more distinction. Does any of this make any sense to you? Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, all in all, whether you agree with the click on the crate mechanic or not, I think most of us can at least agree that limiting the amount of available grenades in one single crate and seriously lengthening the recharge time on putting a new crate down would be a very good idea and would alleviate some of the stress of grenade spam. That's what it comes down to ultimately. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I actually want to know what you think of my logical resupply system in the comments below. I really do enjoy reading all of the comments, to be honest. And I do, by the way, I do read every comment. By the way, talking about all these resupply changes, I haven't actually mentioned ammo. I have been tempted to suggest this system for ammo too, you know, so you actually have to manually click on the ammo pouches, etc. to pick up the ammo rather than get it automatically. Automation! I miss the days of manual interaction. Fuck automation! Let the slow and the weak perish. Let the quick-thinking, highly skilled players prosper. I hope you like my proposal. I like my proposal, and I do mean it. I do mean it to be a genuine proposal for the developers of Battlefield 1, so if you like this system, please try and share it with them in some way. I don't know how to share it with DICE, you know what I mean, so feel free to try and share it with them. I acknowledge, straight away, I acknowledge that some of my suggestions may actually be impossible to implement because of the way the engine and the game works. Nevertheless, I thought I would just throw down my 2 cents. That's why I made this video. I have strong feelings about the grenade resupply system being shit at the moment. I know they are I think they're planning some changes, but their changes just won't be as good as my changes, man. And I'm not tooting my own horn. My head is not firmly up my own arse. I'm being serious. I believe my changes are better than all the changes they've tried so far. I mean, I want to know if you feel the same way. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, and join me in my next video. I'm not sure what my next video will be, probably my long-awaited best medic weapon video, and then I'll do best assault, best scout, etc, etc. So that's it for this video. Join me next time. Logic prevails!